Welcome back, Fanfield family. Today, we're going to look at a fun story with a really important lesson that the book itself very clearly spells out at the end. Before we begin, I just want to quickly remind you to comment and leave a like if you enjoy this. It tells YouTube that you like this sort of thing and they'll recommend the video to others. Okay, let's get to it. When the Lady Ginevra was kidnapped from her estate and held for ransom, her mother sent word out that whoever rescued her would be allowed to marry her and inherit the land. Unfortunately, in those troubled days, kidnappings, murders, and thievery were rampant, and there was a dearth of able-bodied adventurers for such assignments. In fact, the only person who answered her call was a skinny little fellow named Baranat. "You are certainly brave, but I fear you would never survive," said the old woman. "My daughter, you see, has been kidnapped by the Corabel brothers, whose physical prowess is the stuff of legend." "My lady," said Baranat, "when I was born, I was blessed by Vivek, Almalexia, and Sothasil, and I have the ear of the saints. If I run into any trouble, I'll call on them to aid my quest." Doubtful, but having no other prospects, the old woman sent Baranat off, explaining that the four brothers' camp was to the north. In the center of the camp, the eldest and most powerful brother, Aaron Corabel, was holding Lady Ginevra personally. Each of his brothers guarded a different post along the valley. Baranat would have to defeat each to rescue the lady. Baranat rode many miles through the northern swamps before he came to the first of the brothers' guard posts. There he saw Vanis Corabel, the youngest of the brothers, watching the valley for intruders. Vanis was known to be faster than the wind, a warrior who could thrash his opponents before they even unsheathed their weapons. Baranat took a look at his sad, cut-rate iron blade and prayed to the saints. Saint Veloth the Pilgrim appeared before Baranat in shining robes and smiled upon him. "Baranat, put down your blade and I will make you swifter than a bolt of lightning." Baranat dropped his blade and ran at Vanis, moving so fast he didn't rustle a leaf with his pace. In a flash, Vanis was dead by Baranat's hands. The adventurer continued on until he reached the second youngest Corabel brother, Farron, who not only was as fast as Vanis, but so strong he could rip a trauma shrub up by the roots with 2 fingers. Baranat hid himself and trembled as he looked up at the giant Farron Corabel. Again, the young adventurer prayed to the saints. Saint Nerevar the captain appeared before Baranat in golden armor and smiled upon him. "Baranat, I will make you stronger than 100 warriors." Baranat rushed at Farron, knocking the giant through a boulder which turned to dust on impact. Farron tried to get to his feet, but Baranat tore him apart, scattering him across the valley floor in 87 pieces. Beyond Farron's post was a raging river where the second eldest Corabel brother, Horus, stood guard. Horus, who was faster than his brother Vanis, stronger than his brother Farron, and so tough that he could swim in the lava of Dagoth-Ur like it was the Padomaic Ocean. Baranat thought of his own tolerance for pain, which was minimal, and prayed to the saints for help. Saint Rorus the Martyr appeared before Baranat with flesh like sparkling gems and smiled on him. "Baranat, I will make you unyielding as the heart of oblivion." Baranat rushed at Horus, and the two plunged into the rushing river. For 12 hours they wrestled one another under the water until Horus could hold his breath no more and drowned. Baranat pulled himself out of the river and continued down the valley until he reached the camp. Aaron Corabel himself was there, guarding a squirming sack which Baranat assumed either contained Lady Ginevra or several large cats. The young adventurer quailed at the prospect of doing battle with Aaron Corabel, the swiftest, strongest, sturdiest, and most accomplished fighter of the brothers. He prayed to the saints for help. Saint Olms the Just appeared before Baranat in a burst of flame and smiled on him. "Baranat, I will make you more cunning in battle than the most dangerous of Daedra." Baranat walked calmly into the camp and began battle with Aaron Corabel. The fight lasted 7 days, and for 6 of them, Aaron had the upper hand. He rained kicks and punches down, using the arrhythmic style the Khajiit called Gout Fang. He parried and blocked in all the fashions of the great Nordic warriors. He maintained his balance, coordination, speed, strength, timing, and tactics as the moons rose and fell from the sky. But on the 7th day, as he was preparing his killing blow, he suddenly stopped, eyes wide open. The blood drained from his face, and he realized the trap he had stepped into, a trap with no escape. With 3 quick flashes of his hand, Baranat completed the cycle of blood, the old Redguard fighting style he had begun on day 1. Aaron Corabel breathed no more. The young adventurer ran to open the sack where Lady Ginevra lay. His first surprise. She had a face like a dreg, and as she began to berate him for taking his time, he realized that she had a very, very unpleasant personality as well. Several days later, when they were back at the old woman's court, he discovered that the estate he would be inheriting was utterly dissolute by decades of blight storms and poor crops. Saint Dalen the Wise watched the young adventurer from a cloud in the sky and smiled on him. "Baranat, before you fight, find out what you're fighting for." Alright, before we get into the discussion itself, let's talk about key terms. Vivek, Almalexia, and Sothasil are 3 pseudo-gods that make up the core of worship in the Tribunal Temple, a religious organization in Morrowind. Together, the three are referred to as Almsivi. Saint Veloth, also known as Veloth the Pilgrim, is a figure in the Tribunal Temple's worship and is the patron saint of outcasts and seekers of spiritual knowledge. Trauma is a plant that grows in the drier regions of Vardenfell, the large island in the center of Morrowind. The roots can be brewed into a calming tea with minor magical properties. Saint Nerevar is a legendary hero and a contemporary of Vivec, Almalexia, and Sothasil before they gained immortality. He was the husband of Almalexia, but was betrayed and murdered by his friends in their pursuit of power. During the events of the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, you play as the Nerevarine, the prophesied reincarnation of Nerevar. Dagoth Ur is a Dwemer ruin in the heart of the caldera at the massive volcano in the center of Vardenfell, Red Mountain. It's just on the edge of a massive pool of lava. It's named as such because Vorin Dagoth, leader of the Sixth House, resides there, and he has taken on the title of Dagoth Ur. The Padomaic Ocean is a vast ocean that entirely surrounds Tamriel, the continent where all the Elder Scrolls games take place. Saint Rorus the Martyr is the patron saint of furnishers and caravanners. Oblivion is a collection of planes that exist outside of mortal reality. They are the various homes of the Daedric princes, deities that represent aspects of reality. Each of these realms can be vastly different. Sheogorath's Shivering Isles, for example, are a bizarre world of color and light, while Apocrypha, the realm of Hermaeus Mora, is a dark and dour world of oily seas, tentacles, and stacked books for miles. Saint Olms the Just is the patron saint of chandlers and clerks and of the House of Indoril. He founded the Ordinators, an organization of guards and warriors that protect the holy city of Vivec and carry out raids against the forces of evil. The Khajiit are the catfolk of Elsewhere and have a rather fascinating history and culture that could be its own hour-long video. Gout Fang is a fast martial art that relies on the user's ability to flow and balance. In that regard, it's very much like real-world Drunken Fist, very arrhythmic and unpredictable. True masters of Gout Fang can actually channel their spirits to ignite their strikes. Nords are the hardy folk of Skyrim. They're a human race with a cultural focus on warrior's honor and personal accomplishment. Redguards are the natives of Hammerfell. They're dark-skinned humans and have an inborn knack for battlefield tactics. Dreg are an ancient species of beast folk that seem to be some kind of fusion of crab, octopus, and humanoid. Saint Dalen the Wise is the patron saint of potters and glassmakers. He was well known for his wisdom, hence his title, and was a skilled lawyer and author of many treatises on the tribunal's doctrine and law. So what did we learn here? Well, let's start with the biggest and most obvious lesson. Baranat jumped before fully considering what he was fighting for. Had he taken the time to consider, he might have thought to ask what condition the land was in before running headlong into danger. He should have asked a few questions about the woman he was rescuing before going on a grand adventure to save her. This lesson is outright stated at the end of the book. Before you fight, find out what you're fighting for. You have to know why you're going on a quest before you set out. Sun Tzu, in his famous treatise The Art of War, said, "The victorious strategist only seeks battle after the victory has been won." You have to plan, have to understand the risks and rewards of a task before you set out on it, or you can easily end up giving everything and gaining nothing. The second lesson, the one that's a bit more understated, is that if there are things you can't do that you need help with, friends and family can help cover your weaknesses. Sure, not all of us have gods and ancient saints on our side to help us breathe underwater or shatter boulders into dust like Baranat, but we're not facing the kind of tasks that he is. To use a personal example, I'm working on a video regarding Monster Hunter, which I have no experience with. My close friend and friend of the channel, Aki, is giving me a hand by helping to cover information from the Monster Hunter side of the video. Don't try to face every problem in your life alone, you'll wear yourself out. It's good to be able to rely on yourself, but be willing to recognize your own failings, the gaps in your knowledge and skills, and ask those around you for help. The Prayers of Baranat can be found in a few guaranteed locations. There's one in the Morag Tong Guild Hall in Alderune, you can find a copy in Punamu, a small smuggler's cave east of Pelagiad, and there's a final copy in the Sethan Ancestral Tomb just south of the Zainab camp in the Grazelands. It's a skill book, and as such will boost your hand-to-hand skill by 1 the first time you read it. Hand-to-hand isn't the most useful skill in Morrowind, of course. I mean, it got better in the later games, but there's no harm in picking this book up. So that's the Prayers of Baranat. What did you think of this story? Did I miss any important lessons the book is trying to teach? Have you ever found it in-game? Let me know down in the comments. There's a poll up now to determine what we cover next, Surfeit of Thieves or the Wraith's Wedding Dowry. Thank you so much for watching. This series is turning out to be a lot of fun, and I hope you're enjoying it too. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and comment. It all helps a lot. There are new videos every Tuesday and Friday and shorts Saturdays and Sundays. I also put up posts, polls, and even bonus videos, so subscribe so you don't miss anything. If you want to check out the full Elder Scrolls Reading Club playlist, click here. Or click here to learn about the Crystal Foxes of Star Wars. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.